into this world. Now they were in a dark dungeon covered with this painful skin. This wasn't Talia's fault. It was entirely his fault. Teo, Annalee moaned. He jumped to his feet and helped her up. Oh, my skin. I know, me too. She gasped and backed away from him in horror, eyes on his skin. What what happened? It was the potion in the bottle. She stared down at her cracked grey arms. No, no, it can't be true. I'm so sorry, Teo said. This can't be right. We can't look like those horrible things. It's just a bad dream, right? Annalee rubbed her hand across her arm and then pulled it away. Tears slipped down her diseased face. He hated that he'd made her cry so much. He hated that he'd put her in so much pain. He hated a lot of things right now. I'll figure out a way to fix this. I don't know how right now, but I'm sure there's a way. He didn't believe his own words. She wiped her tears with the back of her arm. You had better fix this, she snapped, sinking to the floor. You've turned me into a monster. Teo settled next to her, dejected and at a loss for words. I look disgusting. It's not like I was pretty or anything, but now I'm hideous. A new round of tears flooded her eyes. She lowered her head into her hands. She really didn't know how beautiful she was. It made no sense. Everyone at school thought she was pretty. He wanted to tell her for such a long time, since the day she walked into their kindergarten class. That's not true, he said. I've always thought you were pretty. Were? And now? He bit his lip, embarrassed. Now too. Thanks, but you don't have to lie. We both know I look disgusting. I'm not lying. I think you're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. Even now, covered in horde skin, you're beautiful. He could feel his cheeks redden, but hopefully the grey skin kept the red hidden. Annalee looked up at him, her brow scrunched. Really? Yes. He could tell by how she absently studied the cell wall that she was thinking about something, maybe what he'd said. He only wished she could see herself the way he saw her. Sst! Teo jerked his head up toward the sound. There, on the other side of the cell bars, stood a whole horde girl staring at them. That's where they were, and there's the girl. See their skin? Maya! Teo leapt to his feet. Talia sent me, Mayo said. I've come to rescue you. He said I'm safe because no one will look twice at a little horde girl. Rescue us? How? Maya pulled out a pair of keys and wiggled them in the front of the door. Where did you get those? Annalee asked, stepping up to the bars. I'm very sneaky, Maya beamed. She put the key in the door, the lock clicked, and the door swung slowly outward. Teo and Annalee rushed from their dark prison. We must be quiet, Maya said. The guard on duty is sleeping. I slipped some Rutego fruit into his drink and it can make you very sleepy, but he won't be asleep for long, so we have to hurry. A surge of energy raced through Teo. He was ready to run if it came to that. Put these on. Maya handed them horde tunics. They quickly slipped them over their heads. Now that you're horde, no one will pay us any mind. We're just 3 horde children going home. She grinned widely. Ready? Ready, Annalee whispered, breathless. Ready, Teo said. Maya turned and then she was off with Annalee and Teo on her heels. They passed the sleeping horde guard and exited the dungeon without being seen. It was night and the moon shone brightly in the dark sky over the great horde city. He was glad to see some light again. Maya slipped down a narrow alley blocked by the gate. You guys can climb, right? She made her way to the other side with ease. Teo helped Annalee up and then climbed up and over himself. A sense of courage overcame him. Maya pulled them to the wall with a finger pressed against her lip. Two men stood at the exit of the alley. Guards. There was no telling what Bale would do to them or Maya if they were caught escaping. He inched along the wall behind Maya, saying quiet prayers that the men wouldn't venture farther down the alley. There was a laugh and then a chuckle, and the guards moved on. Maya held up her hand. "Wait," she said. Brave girl. She ran down the alley, peeking around the corners to see if their path was clear. Then she waved them forward. They followed her down the alley and out into an empty street. Maya led them past a horde building and then another. "It's not much further, just over those walls." In the distance, a tall stone wall marked the edge of the city. Behind them, they could hear the voices and the sounds of boots pounding on the hard ground. "They know we've escaped. Go!" The trio ran. The wall was in sight, just a few more feet. Once there, Thao boosted Maya and then Annalee. Annalee leaned back over the wall's edge. "Come on, grab my hand." Thao looked back. Shadows moved in the moonlight. The horde were coming. He reached for her hand, hauled himself over the wall, and landed on the ground in a crouch. Then they ran as fast as their legs would carry them. But he knew that even if they could outrun the guards, they couldn't outrun what they'd become. Grey, scabbed, foul-smelling horde. Chapter 8. Thao ran one foot after another behind Maya. Annalee had fallen behind, breathing heavily, trying to keep up. Occasionally he glanced back to see that she was okay. They didn't stop till they reached a creek in a clearing of trees. He leaned over his knees and tried to catch his breath. Annalee plopped down next to the stream, breathing hard. Maya didn't seem to be winded at all. He sat down on a large boulder, trying to think through their next move. Nothing was coming to him. What now? Annalee sat cross-legged by the edge of the stream, staring into its waters. Maya knelt down beside her. She twirled her little finger in the clear water, then let it become still to reflect a bright moon. "What do you see?" "Nothing," breathed Annalee. "Strange. I see a lot in this water. I see me, I see you, and I see Elian." Thao watched the horde girl, so calm and observant, younger than both he and Annalee. "Can I tell you what else I see?" Maya asked. Annalee didn't respond. "I see beauty." "Not in me. I'm gross." "Because of your skin?" "Because of everything," Annalee whispered. "Oh, I see. Yeah, the skin we both own is not the most beautiful to blind eyes, to those who cannot see their true self. But do you know what Talia has taught me?" She didn't wait for Annalee to answer. "My beauty doesn't come from the outside, but from the inside." "Well, maybe my insides are as ugly as my outsides." Annalee studied her reflection in the still water. Asher had called her ugly. How could she believe him? Ugly and beautiful are only words. You know what I see? I see the light of Elion inside you. Can you see it? No. Want to see what Elion sees? Look closer. There they all are by the stream, the three of them. Thao wanted to go over to see for himself, but he knew this was Annalee's moment, so he watched from the boulder. Annalee got on her knees and looked into the water. She stared into it for a few seconds, and then she gasped, and then she leaned closer. No longer able to hold his curiosity in check, Thao hurried over and tried to see, but all he saw was the reflection of the moon. "Is that me?" Annalee asked. Maya didn't answer. Annalee touched the water and jerked her hand away as if she'd been shocked by electricity. She slowly drew back, eyes glued to the water. Then she took a deep breath and shook her head, as if trying to understand something. Thao wished he could hear her thoughts. I need a minute, Annalee said. She stood up, adjusted her tunic, and walked into the forest. Annalee, he called, but she disappeared into the trees. Let her go, Maya said. Listen to the night sounds. Do you hear the beauty? Do you hear its rhythm? It's everywhere. He allowed the sounds singing all around him to fill his ears, the rippling of the river, the soft hush of the cool breeze, the rustling leaves that swayed above him. A deep calm settled over him. The light is in all of us, Thao. You will see. She closed her eyes and breathed in the sweet air. Whenever I start to feel sorry for myself or become blind to the light, I ask Elion to show me who I am. Maya's words pricked at his heart. She was telling him something very important, but most of his mind was too busy worrying to hear clearly. I'm lost, he said. I don't know how to find the seal. I lost my staff and I don't know what to do. You will see soon, Maya said. The skin they gave you can be taken as soon as Annalee learns her truth. But she must learn the truth in the costume she's wearing now. The costume? It's what Talia calls our bodies. They're like costumes we wear while we're here in this world. But our bodies aren't who we are. They're only what we are for a short time. Then who are we? You'll see. Maya winked. A wave of relief washed over him. This horrible skin could be taken away, and Maya seemed to know how. He had to tell Annalee. Where was she anyway? She'd been gone way too long. I'm going to check on Annalee. Don't get lost. I'll be right back. He took off in a jog toward the forest. Annalee! Nothing. He edged deeper into the forest. Annalee! She couldn't have gone any further. What made her leave? What had she seen in the water? The forest gave way to a clearing. He saw her there, with her back toward him. But she wasn't alone. Thao held back, heart pounding, and peered around a tree. Annalee was talking to a man taller than her by 2 foot. He wore a white shirt and white pants. His hair was dark, slicked back, and his skin was glistening. Thao felt drawn to him. Strange, it was like he somehow knew him, but something about the man didn't feel right. But it didn't stop him from wanting to trust the man. The stranger lifted his eyes, blue in the moonlight. Thao. Had they met before? Annalee turned to him. She was beaming, happy. Something had excited her. Was it what she'd seen in the water, or was it in the stranger? Thao moved out from behind the tree. How do you know my name? I know everything about you two children. I know you really don't look like the horde who took you captive. And I know your skin is beautiful, like mine. How do you know all this? He said he could change us to the way we were, Annalee said excitedly. We just have to go with him. The man smiled at Thao with 2 perfect white teeth and waved him closer. Was this what Maya had spoken about? What if Elion had sent him to help them, to teach Annalee and to heal them? But Maya hadn't said anything about a man. Annalee, can you come here? Mayo told me something that... Didn't you hear me? He can take this gross skin away. Thao doesn't trust me yet, but he will, the man said, gaining Annalee's attention again. Can you tell me what you saw in the water? I saw a light, she said. I saw myself through Elion's eyes. The light was in me. It was me. I was beautiful. Lift up your hands, sweetheart. Annalee did as the man instructed. And we know that this skin isn't beautiful, right? Right. So on the inside you're beautiful, but right now you're not beautiful at all. I can make you beautiful once more. I can heal you, sweetheart. Annalee hung on the man's every word, but the more the man talked, the more Thao distrusted him. Something was off.